Well, we'll get started. Roll call.
All right, we have myself, Kyla Leonard, Allison Franz, Carrie Powers, Chris Lounsbury, Commissioner Strohmeyer, Commissioner Vero, Frankie Feinstein, Kelly Durbin Williams, and MCAT.
Okay, thank you. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? Not seeing any. We'll jump in with a communications update and website preview. I'm excited. Is
Hi,
this,
everyone. Can you hear me?
yep.
I'm Allison Franz. I'm the communications manager for Missoula County, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I've been at home with my kiddo who got her tonsils out yesterday, so I'm going to be camera off, and I apologize for any interruptions. So like I said, I'm the communications manager for the county, and I've been with the county for about 7.5 years now. I oversee the communications division, and the staff for our division are the communications coordinator, which is Carrie Powers, and she'll introduce herself in a little bit and give you guys a website preview. And also the engagement coordinator, and that position is currently vacant. We're looking to fill it this summer. That's the position in our division that has the most direct contact with community councils. That person typically sends out updates about here are some projects or other relevant information for your communities. So once we get that person on board, we will make sure that they get connected with the community councils. And then Carrie, were you gonna pull up a slide?
Yep.
Are you able to share your screen?
I think so, yeah. Let's
Thank
do
you.
this.
Sorry, you guys can
Alright.
probably hear my kids right now. I apologize.
All good.
Okay.
So,
So, thank you. So before we get to the website preview, which is the really exciting part of this, we just wanted to kind of go over a few of the ways you can stay up to date with county government. First, of course, is social media. We have accounts on a lot of platforms. We're mostly active on Instagram and Facebook and Threads a little bit too. We also use Nextdoor, which is really handy for when we just want to post information that's relevant to a certain community. That's often when we post information there. And we also will post stuff on Reddit occasionally if that is a platform you use. And then we also have a weekly e-newsletter that goes out each Monday. It's called the Missoula County Weekly. And that is just kind of a digest really of county happenings, a preview of public meetings, what the commissioners did at the previous week's public meetings, any sort of initiatives or news or events that are going on. So I recommend subscribing to that if you just kind of want to be able to glance over something once a week. If you go to missoula.co/subscribe, you can sign up for that there. And then, of course, we have Missoula County Voice, and that is our engagement platform. And so that's when we have specific projects that we want people to, learn about, give us public comment on. That is the place to go for that sort of information. So, anytime you maybe are hearing about something going on in your community, you can always go check MissoulaCountyVoice.com, and it is likely there. And also, that will always have any sort of land use, subdivision project that is going on or that's going to go before the commissioners at a public meeting. So that's kind of your one-stop shop for the information and then to be able to comment, ask questions, or otherwise engage. And then last but not least, we have a podcast that comes out about twice a month. It's called The Agenda with the Missoula County Commissioners. And that is really a platform where we can kind of do a deep dive on a lot of projects. So you can subscribe to that anywhere you get your podcasts. So if you're a podcast listener, we recommend you check that out. And that is all I have for that. And Carrie's going to go ahead and do a preview of the new website.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna close out of this and do the screen juggling. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Carrie Powers. Like Allison said, I'm the communications coordinator for the county. I've been with the county almost 3 years. And during that time, one of the projects that's been rolling along is getting a new website. as I'm sure some of you are unfortunately familiar with and use our current website, which I'm showing here, which I think did a good job for when it was launched about 10 years ago, maybe closer to 8 years ago. But we have found that it's become almost kind of unwieldy, too big. The search doesn't really get people to what they need. The mobile functionality, if you've tried to use it on a cell phone, you probably know it's really not great. So we are working on launching a new website sometime by the end of the summer. I don't have an exact date for you, but we will keep you all up to date on how the rollout's going to go. And what I really want to talk tonight to you all about is something that's going to be brand new to the county website, which is actually I had a meeting with a few other staff members this morning about it, and one of them called it a community profile page. I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I'd been calling it like a landing page, but a profile page also works. And so the goal of these new pages is going to be two or threefold. One, kind of as you can see, it will be a place for you to really easily get to some frequently searched things on the website. So notably registering to vote. I'm actually probably going to put the like titling your car stuff even up in this first row because that's a really, really common search on our current website. Signing up for emergency alerts. We're working on an integration with Missoula County Voice. Actually, our IT director was working on that today to get specific projects, not just the main Missoula County Voice landing page that has kind of all of the projects here, but stuff that was like, the Spanish Skies or for Lolo, for example, this would immediately show up on the Lolo page. This is kind of, we do hope that it will be kind of a place for the rural communities to go first. So you won't necessarily have to dive down into the whole MissoulaCounty.us website. You could go here first, and it will have, there's obviously still like a search bar up here. You'll be able to navigate to other parts of the website. It's not separate. It is fully enveloped in the website, accessible from the homepage. But we really wanted to give people a feel for like what's going on in my community. Especially, we wanted a place outside of Onboard to give a little bit more context and a little bit more information about how the community councils work. But that being said, it's not directly tied to the community councils because we are planning to have a page for the Greeno Potomac area, and they do not have representation currently in a community council, but they will still have one of these profile pages. And so, yeah, we're playing around with this idea. And obviously it's not live yet. Seeing there's some missing design elements. These are notes to myself that I make, so I don't forget to put stuff in there before we launch. But yeah, that is what I'd really like to hear from you guys. This was actually related to a conversation. Stephanie Lindbergh from East Missoula gave me a call a few weeks ago and was talking about an idea of kind of rounding up common questions that the council has asked. And I think that would be a great opportunity to live on a page like this. And then let's see, let me just pull up another one here. For tonight's meeting, I made 4. I did Celia Lake, East Missoula, Lolo, and West Valley. So you can see they're a little bit more the same, in terms of like the layout. They're not all different. And then I can actually show you all, here's what it would look like on a mobile view, which still has some design elements needing to work out. But again, we're really moving towards a lot of these like big buttons because, when you're scrolling on your phone, you want a big old button that you can't miss, not like a little hyperlink text or something like that. So that's what I've got. I can show other parts of the site, but I would, if it's appropriate, and I don't want to take up too much time, Kyla, but get just some kind of initial thoughts, even some kind of like wish list items for a county website.
I'm so excited.
This is Kelly. This is Kelly from Frenchtown,
Hey.
Or West Valley. I think the piece that you just shared about putting the projects or, the things the commissioners are going to be looking at for that community will be huge.
Yep.
I think that's going to be a game changer for you, for us, for the communities. So I love that I think you absolutely should do that, because that's the one thing that we get the most is, where do I find this information? How come I didn't know about this information? If we can
Yes.
just go, hey, go to our community page and it'll keep being updated. I think that's beautiful.
Yep, exactly. Cool.
And then one other idea that we had with these pages is, having an option to sign up for a newsletter that would be specific to your community, right? So kind of like the Missoula County Weekly. I don't know how frequent it would be, and then you could get sort of a roundup of this is news, events, projects that are specific to your area. So I don't know if that is something you think community members would be interested in, but if it is, that's certainly something we'd like to pursue.
Dave?
Yes. So I guess just to temper expectations without being, I don't want to be a wet blanket on this or
Mhm.
anything, but when it comes to projects being listed, not everything that's happening in the community is going to show up here, because there's certainly some projects going on right now that have raised a lot of interest on the part of the public, but are not coming before the county commissioners whatsoever for a decision. So every time someone pulls a building permit or is building something, does not mean that it rises to the level of either appearing here or a decision on the part of the commission. So just wanted to make sure that that was out there.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. That's a good point. Yeah, this would just pull projects directly from Missoula County Voice, and the projects that are on that site are projects that the county has some authority in.
Yeah,
Well-
I can rewrite that a little bit.
I mean, can we segue? I mean, just to call it out, this is just a small group, but so something like the proposed town pump in Frenchtown, that won't ever come before the county commissioners, but there's a ton of community interest about it. So I think that it would be somewhat disingenuous of us not to at least have something about that there, being like, at least how do we do that? How do we talk about this thing,
Yeah.
even though it won't ever come to a public meeting or be something that the commission or the board of adjustments would even be seeing?
Right. Yeah, and I think that's what these pages could be an opportunity for, right? We could have just like a news item that gives information about that, explaining why it doesn't come before the commissioners, right? But that would still be, we can train people basically, this is where I go first if I'm looking for information about my community, and then they would find it on the landing page. Yeah, we can definitely, play it by ear with that sort of stuff.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking specifically there's there's like an article feature in the back end, and then there's like a message block that can have like a pretty like big call out for information. One of the things that's really nice about this website, just kind of on like the internal staff side, is it's extremely modular and it's very available to be customized really quickly. Currently our website is like very strict and very like it really boxes you in terms of what you can and can't make. And one of the big changes that we're doing, and not to kind of get too much on a tangent on internal county operations, but our IT department has like much more control over what we can make. And so I think we're feeling really empowered by this process to be able to elicit feedback from residents and community councils about how they're using it, and then adapt. Whereas right now, we hear from people all the time, well, I can't find this on your website. And we're like, yeah, I know. We also can't find it. And so we're really looking really looking forward to having a lot more versatility in this new site once it gets out there. And another thing, actually, I mentioned earlier, I was talking with staff, we really want to get some more information out about what county grants are available and when, the kind of county funded stuff. So we call them the rural grants, the micro grant, which is, I think, yeah, it's open year round, and then the impact grants. I know there are some organizations out there that are like really, they know about these grants and seek them out. A few of the Lions clubs, for example, but really just helping to get more of the county does more than just levy your taxes and help you vote and title your car, and kind of get that breadth of county services out there for people.
This is great, Carrie and Allison. Thank you so much. Wow, long time coming.
Yep.
You're
This-
telling us.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Um, and then I'll just open it up. If anybody has any questions about communications or anything, I'm happy to hear any questions or feedback.
Chris, you've been with the county for umpteen decades. Any thoughts? You've probably seen various, like multiple iterations of county websites.
Yeah, so actually, thanks, Commissioner Bureau. So this is at least my third, and as always, really appreciative to the communications staff for trying to keep us fresh and up to date and making things easier for the public to access them. Our current website was a great leap forward from where we were, and I think this one will be another great leap forward with some great opportunities for additional input from the community and places for folks to find things. So looking forward to it. I know they're working really hard behind the scenes. It's been a long project, and their stick-to-itiveness, which I don't think is actually a word, but I'm going to use it anyway, has been greatly appreciated by staff because it's a big project when you talk about 30 plus departments worth of websites and trying to get them all updated and onto a new platform. It's no small task.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, here, I'm just gonna hit save and preview that these community profile sites are like a tiny fraction. We've got department sites for everything. So we are really looking forward to getting this out there. Kind of another thing that I want to say while I have you all is the idea that a website is never done. It's dynamic. It is, in a sense, living and breathing. And so we're fully prepared that once we get it out there, we will have feedback, and we have plans for how to get constructive feedback from the public, from different organizations, because as a local government, pretty much anybody who lives in the county interacts with us at least once, usually to title their truck. So we are open to feedback and really looking forward to getting this thing out there.
Excellent.
Cool.
Thanks, Carrie. Thanks, Allison. If there's a specific email or phone number, if community members have feedback now or in the next month or so, would you mind dropping that in the chat and I'll make sure and share it?
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks.
Okay, I guess next is ride along reminder.
Yes. So Christina with the commissioner's office has sent out an email about commissioner ride-alongs for the summer months. And if you're interested in that, just a reminder to get back in touch with Christina. The commissioners would love to have you on one of the days listed. And I think the community council members who've done it in the past have had great feedback and really enjoy them. So just a reminder, if you haven't seen the email or you want the information, just let me know and I can send it along. But that was just my quick reminder.
Thank you. I guess we're down to, oh, Kelly, sorry, go ahead. What were you
Can I
saying?
just a quick question? I noticed in the email that they requested, I feel like it was recommended that, say, for example, myself and Brittany, who are going to do it from West Valley, I feel like it was recommended that we do the same day together. Is that true? Was that a recommendation that was made, or did I make that up?
I can't tell you.
Okay. I feel
Kyla,
like
I
that,
don't,
yeah.
I thought it was pretty open because I know
I don't-
everyone's
I don't-
schedules are
I don't
crazy.
think I don't think it makes any difference from our standpoint. I think the main goal is to pick days where we actually have a full day of interesting meetings that might be of interest to you all who are attending.
Okay, cool,
Uh,
thanks.
Yeah, Kelly, the email did say our hope is that we have 2 members from the council participate on the same day. Just in the past, we've had a little bit of scheduling conflict with different members not having availability, but if it doesn't work out for you 2 to go on the same day, certainly that's okay. Just trying to get you both the same perspective, so.
Okay, good. I was curious what the logic was behind that, because in my brain, I thought, well, it'd be great if we had different days, because then we'd both have different experiences that we could share with each other, but I can I mean, both are great. So I'll just work with Britt. We'll figure it out.
Thank you. Okay, it sounds like we're at round robin.
Yes, quick meeting. Looks like Frankie is hopping off. Sue, did you have anything you wanted to share?
Oh gosh. Thank you to Carrie and Allison on the presentation for the new and improved website design. It's something we're really looking forward to, and it's going to be great once it gets going. We are working on our third annual ice cream social, which will be Thursday, June 26th from 5 to 7 at the Lions Park here in East Missoula. I've been trying to get a bouncy house and a face painter to also be there for the kiddos, but so far I'm batting out on that. But we'll have cake, lots of cake and ice cream, and hopefully the commissioners and you, Kyle, have received your invites, but everyone's welcome. You know, bring your families, bring an empty belly, and just come meet and mingle.
Well,
And
I believe all three of us will be there for sure.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Look forward to seeing you all there. The only other thing that's been kind of happening in East Missoula is the East Missoula Rural Fire Department is still working on having the correct language so that they can add it to the ballot in November for that fire levy. And I haven't heard from them yet as to whether or not they've finalized it. Hopefully, they had hoped to have something put in place by the ice cream social, and some of them, like Tyler and JD, if they're not working their third jobs or second jobs because they're so incredibly busy, will have like a handout there at the social for those interested in reading about the fire levy changes and the correct language on the ballot. So that's keeping us busy. And thanks to Shane and Jason for having Public Works out here fixing some of our nefarious potholes, especially on Speedway. That was a pleasure to come across this morning when I went to work. So thanks to them. That's about it.
Thanks, Sue. Looks like we just have West Valley on. Kelly or Reagan.
Sure. Let's see. Turning on my camera. Sorry, don't look too close behind me. I'm working in my office and it's an absolute mess. Um, so for West Valley last Thursday, what did we do, Kelly? Sorry, I'm so
We
late.
elected
Yes.
our officers.
We elected new officers. We had some great discussion with community members about just upcoming developments. There's a lot of concern about the town pump proposal and the land that's on the north side of the Frenchtown overpass. So people were there to voice their concerns, and so we voted to have a special meeting in July just to talk about that. And we invited anyone who knows information basically at this point to come out and talk about it. Because right now rumors are swirling and we just want to get answers out. And then we had Andrew and Flana come out and talk about the fiscal year 26 Y tax increment plan, and which is just really interesting. They do such a great job explaining a really kind of convoluted and difficult topic. So we love having them out. And they both are fantastic at answering questions because we definitely have some people who love to attack county employees, even if they have nothing to do with taxes and where that money's coming from. But they answer it with so much grace, and I appreciate that. So, and I also apologize. We're gonna try to rein that in, but just so you know, they're wonderful. So, yeah, I think that's it. Kelly, if I missed anything, feel free to add to it.
Oh, I think it's really great. And Reagan's our new fearless leader, which I'm excited about because she has such beautiful, vibrant, peaceful energy. And I just think this community, this particular community council was on by a thread until, they got Reagan in there. And then, Jerry did such a beautiful job serving, but is retired from a long term. And so I think there's some new fresh energy, which I'm hoping will be helpful. And yeah, we have some vocal people, but I believe that's what the community councils are for, is to give them a place to speak however they want to speak. And it's our job to hear them without judgment. And I think it'll help. I honestly hope that, Reagan and I and team can almost work as a buffer, to help give them that space to say whatever they need to say. And then I just think we have a really cool group of humans that are, I think, going to be able to hear them, create a safe space to speak, but also, like Reagan said, help channel that in a positive and productive direction that doesn't beat up the commissioners or any of the government employees. So I'm excited.
Glad you both are there. Is that it for our councils?
That's all we have on tonight. Kind of a short crew. I do want to make note that this is the last meeting of the summer. We will reconvene in the fall in September. We're just going to kind of fall in line with most of the councils that also take the month off. I had another update just quickly. This will be in the follow-up information, but the micro grant application is open again. Applications are due the last day of the month and will be accepted monthly until the funds run out. And currently they have about $3,000 remaining in the fund. So they're encouraging you to apply, and I'll get you that information just so councils have it. I think that's all I had, Commissioner Vero.
Thanks. And then I guess I'm still kind of thinking about this town pump proposal and the information and misinformation and trying to get good information to folks. Allison, is there anything that we could send out on that? What's the appropriate way to engage with folks because I know people have been emailing us with the petition, and Strohmeyer has been doing a great job of responding to those individual emails. But how can we share good information to the 1,500 people that have signed that petition, thinking that the commissioners can actually do something?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the community council and the special meeting, that's a good step, right? That would always be something we would want to do, is be able to go out into the community and talk about it, answer questions, right? But we can keep working on maybe, we had talked about maybe doing some op-eds or something like that. And really, this is where, our new website is going to come in really handy, because again, that's where we can maybe just have, maybe even a separate page or just some information that we could direct people to. And we can do that on our current website, though, so that's something that people can still send and share. It does take, when people have good information, it does take them, being willing to share it too, right? We always do rely some on word of mouth and just neighbors, talking to each other, and oh no, here's actually where you can find the correct information. But yeah, we can definitely keep working on that.
Dave?
Yeah, and I guess this is something for Reagan or Kelly to chew on. I would invite you to or suggest that you invite someone from Town Pump to come out, because this is their project. Apparently, I mean, I have no details whatsoever about this, and this is not going to be something that will ever come before the commission. We have no decision space in this whatsoever. So in the spirit of hearing directly from the horse's mouth, so to speak, and also in the spirit of maybe the project proponent here, Town Pump, allegedly, hearing from the community what the community thinks, I think that could be important.
It's really great to hear. Sorry, I had my hand raised, but then I started talking anyway.
Good.
And that was something I asked. I talked to Tim Worley. Actually, he called me last week after I sent an email to all of you, and I saw that, everything's popping up on Facebook. And I mentioned that to him if they had a contact for Town Pump, and he said that they've never actually had to do that. And so I guess if there's anyone who could help me, like I don't even know who to reach out to. I went on to Town Pump's website, and you can like complain or give a compliment about like a specific store, but obviously Frenchtown doesn't exist yet, so it wouldn't let me like do anything. And so because that was something I was considering too, is after talking to Tim, especially, it's like the county does not have a lot of information, and I know people are fired up and they're going to come to this and they're going to be told we don't have a lot of information, and I know that's going to get people riled up too. So it's tricky. It's really tricky. And then I guess
Dave,
my part
I have a
two. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I just had a question. I hear you saying this is not in the hands of the commissioners. When something like this comes to town anywhere, who is it in the hands of?
Well, I think this is the important distinction, is that there are lots of projects that happen across Missoula County, buildings going up, dirt being turned, that it complies with zoning, it complies with the land use regulations. All you need to do is go in and get your building permit. And the same would be if you're doing an addition on your house. That does not rise to the level of triggering anything that would come before the commission. It could be a major project, but it complies with all the regulations, so that it does not come before us. And I think what's been the confusing thing is, I heard back from someone the other day who was connecting the dots between a decision we made about a mini storage unit out by the Y, which was something that actually did come before us, and we took action on it, and we actually denied the proposal. And folks are jumping to the conclusion that, well, we did that somewhere else, it must be the same thing here, and it's difficult to explain, but it's a little bit of apples and oranges, because in some cases, like the mini storage, that was the sort of proposal that's this is going to be wonky, but that was what we call
Buildings for lease or rent.
Buildings for lease or rent, yes, and so it wasn't a subdivision of the land, and of course, Town Pump proposal is not either, but it fell within a certain part of state law that if you are using your property in a way to create buildings that will be leased or rented, then that rises to the level of coming before the governing body in a case where someone's just pulling a building permit, even if it's for a huge project. That does not come before us. And I think that's therein lies some of the confusion.
Would
And
someone
the
be?
building-
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. And with the building permit, there's land use permit and health department. And I mean, there's all these regulations that happen at the same time through that administrative permitting that us commissioners were not part of.
And yeah, and Juanita is exactly right there. It's not that there is no county involvement whatsoever. It's just that the role of the commission is very limited, and the basis for I guarantee that we would find ourselves immediately litigated if we were to deny a building permit just because someone did not, or many people in the community did not like the project. There's got to be a clear violation of law in order to deny something, either at the building permit level or even when something comes before us.
And that makes total sense. I was gonna say too, the person who organized the, I just
Petition?
lost the word, the petition. Thank you. She made a Facebook page. It's already getting a lot of traction too. And we've been in communication as well. She's just giving me updates and stuff. But if the county even wants to or the commissioners, if you would be willing to even write a letter, I could post it on that page or have her post it as a update on the petition, because then everyone sees it, so you have to put it in your email. That way they know, because that's been the number one thing I've heard the last week is like, well, I sent a physical letter and emails to the commissioners, we're going to stop this. And it's like, and I understand there's a lot more to it. And, but people don't. So yeah, I think in July, even if, and I feel bad asking, I know it's in the middle of summer, but even if one of the commissioners, if you would be willing to come out and explain that too, just to give people that information, because I think that's what's lacking. And I mean, I get the frustration. I'm nervous about it too. I'm not going to lie, from a personal and from, my job standpoint. I mean, drugs and alcohol access are now going to skyrocket, and that makes me nervous. But I also know that, there's a way to do this, and it's not by bombarding you with all of this information or like this communication. So if even other people come to mind, or if you know how to reach out to Town Pump, I would love any help. The other thing,
what's the date? Sorry, Reagan, what's the date of your guys' special meeting?
yeah, it's Thursday, July 10th at 6:00.
Are we in Philadelphia then? Sorry.
Yes, we are all three out of the office, but we could perhaps get someone from our building division or staff to attend.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. I just lost. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to hijack this meeting. The other thing that we're struggling with too is that a former West Valley Community Council member is telling people to get West Valley involved, because we are liaisons between the community and the commissioners, to start citizen initiated zoning. I have no idea what that is. We have no power to do that. I recognize that. I don't think that's anything I personally even want to take on. So if someone could even provide some information about that, even just saying that is not a thing or a possibility, or if it is, to let us know. Because now I have people asking me to get a hold of you guys to talk about this zoning process, or citizen initiated zoning. I'm like, I don't know what that is. So
No,
any help on that?
It is a viable option, but the timeline and the process and all the things that go into it, I don't think is going to align with this proposal. Not knowing really anything about the proposal, because we haven't seen anything. But I don't,
Right.
Dave. Sorry.
Yeah. Good question, Regan. So two thoughts. One, the community council cannot do that. Just full stop. The community councils are advisory to the Board of County Commission. So what you can do is say this is what you just did. You've been hearing from members of the community who are interested in citizen initiated zoning and might like more information. We can provide that information back at a community council meeting at some future date. But I think what we've seen with some community councils across Missoula County is their desire to be a governing body unto themselves, like a city council. And that is not what community councils are. You're advisory to us, and you are our boots on the ground to be able to have a sense of what's going on in the community and relay that to us. But that's where your role would cease. In terms of what Juanita is exactly right. The ship, frankly, has sailed on this. How often have any of us heard, we do not want government regulation or government breathing down our necks? Well, sadly, what ends up happening if you don't have some level of regulation like zoning is you end up getting what you get. You get the town pump, because there is no zoning that says this could not be a commercial development here. So even in this case at hand, what folks are hoping for is that we can rally support and zone someone else's property, which is basically what we're talking about. That I think that ship has sailed. Thinking proactively, we are embarking on a process which maybe our planners, maybe Andrew has and others have described to you, where we're going to be updating our comprehensive or growth policy for the county, which is a precursor to zoning. And I think if we want to get proactive, that is the opportunity to set the vision for our respective communities around the county, including Frenchtown and West Valley, and put in place regulations that would determine where is residential or commercial development appropriate. Even in that case, as we've seen recently up in Sealy Lake, where folks are up in arms because there might be a Dollar General coming into the area, simply we can't zone out specific businesses. So we couldn't say, well, a mom and pop gas station would be okay, but God forbid there's going to be a town pump, and we're going to prohibit town pumps anywhere. No, the level of specificity needs to be at, is it commercial? Is it residential? Is it industrial? And so that's a start. That's more than what you have in West Valley right now, but it may still not get you to the point of being able to determine in advance what specific businesses ask for a building permit.
Okay, that's incredibly helpful. Thank you, because my response has been, I don't know. I will ask someone. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You bet.
And you can have people email zoner@missoulacounty.us.
Okay.
And then there's a phone. Let me find a phone number for you. 406-258-4642 if they want to talk to anyone. But yeah, zoner@missoulacounty.us.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sorry, Sue, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was enjoying the conversation. Especially Reagan on the citizen initiated zoning. We've had that come up out in East Missoula as well. And so if there's any information that's available, just as information only for community council, and nothing that we would cross that line of trying to do. And I'm probably guilty of crossing a few lines. So sorry about that. But yeah, if there's any information on just what to do on that, Kyla, if maybe you could email us on that. And
Sure.
then I got so involved in listening to Reagan and her comments that I forgot my other questions. So thank you, Reagan. I enjoyed everything you had to say.
Oh, thank you. And I'm so sorry for taking up so much time. And that was not my intention.
Oh, this is great. People want to know about this, so it was timely.
Yeah. Thank you.
I've lost the agenda.
I think we're pretty much wrapped up, Commissioner. Sue,
Okay.
to your point, I just wanted to make a note that Karen Hughes, our Director of the Planning, Development, Sustainability Division, and Tim Worley will be really good resources for the citizen zoning information. We do have some on our website,
Okay.
but I can get a more concise answer for you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, if we don't have anything else, go out there and enjoy this beautiful evening.
Yeah, and don't forget to come on June 26th.
June 26th. I see it on our calendar, so
Awesome. Awesome.
we're in.
Yay.
Oh,
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.